Now, this is a issue that I went black and white for that particular reason, because this issue is about black and white. Because the phenomenon that I'm seeing is like the more educated a brother gets, it appears that he then opts out of marrying a black woman. In other words, he marries another race. Now, I don't have any of the statistics and all of it, but I'm talking about straight up empirical type of information that I'm gathering myself and what I think I'm seeing in the society. Yeah, I'm really seeing that the more educated that the brother gets, he tends to marry outside of the black race. And I'm trying to determine why. I mean, I have, some reasons, and I don't know if people will agree with them. I have one main reason, and it's nothing that the black woman can avoid. And it's in the black male too. It's just that the black male, especially when he deals with other races, he can manifest it differently. But there's a mean spirit in black people. And I don't necessarily mean that negatively. And it may be a part of our reaction to our conditions over time. For whatever reason, we have it in us, a mean type of a streak. And in a woman, when it manifests itself, it's really, really hateful sometimes. It really comes across as just mean-spirited, just toxic with anybody. But, it's really, to me, extra kind of like negative coming from a female, because in my opinion you expect like the female, her spirit to be tampered down more so than a man. And so when it comes from a female, it just seems like vile almost. And so even when you look at the prettiest woman who is even the most level-headed 85% of the time, to even deal with that spirit 15% of the time, a lot of times it's not worth it if you could choose another route. And so that's what brothers are doing. And it's one of those things where it's that ostrich shit, you know what I'm saying? Stick your head in, because, hey, who wants to, face that? The fact that, the more educated the brother gets, and like, so he thinks more and analyzes, right? And he, at that point, you would think, forecast, right? So he's looking at, how do I want to, deal with this situation when it comes up? How do I want to deal with this situation? How do I want my kids to be? How do I want my wife, my spouse to interact with my kids? Do I want someone that's just 100% or 98% gentle and predictable and whatever? But it's something that, again, nobody really wants to talk about that. I can remember when I was coming up in the 60s, some of the black women, not all of them, would have a can of lye under the sink. That lye that's so strong, they usually use it for unclogging plumbing. But they had it in case their husband ever, or their boyfriend, whoever, ever put his hands on them, they was gonna boil that and throw it on them, some lye. And that was real talk. And so I just mentioned that to give an idea of how people thought. And so if a woman thinks like that, which I don't blame her for wanting to retaliate if a man puts his hand on her, but I would be thinking, first of all, I've got, such a way with people. There's no one that wants to put their hands on me, especially the man who's intimate with me, So, but that's the way I would like to think of it. But, not that I'm a man, even court a person or date a person or whatever. And think that the guy's gonna go upside my head. But if he does, I got this lie for him, you know. And there's so many. See, a brother, man. Again, as he gets educated, he starts looking at. Look, I'm gonna be honest with myself at least. And he says, "Shit, I know my mom's, my auntie, you know, my cousins, my sister even. I've seen them interact with men, and I love them all. But boy, can they be mean at times. I mean, a black woman's tongue can cut so deep sometimes, and I'm not even gonna go deep into it because again, that's an ostrich type of a thing, but it's very real, man. When you really think about it, and it's one of those things that you don't really want to face, but you know it's true. Um, as I said, we've got a mean streak in us brothers too, and it's especially a meanness towards each other, especially, you know, brothers have it with almost an immediate violent aspect to it, to the meanness, and we see in real life how that manifests itself. But as I said, on a woman, when you see it, and we're seeing it more and more and more, I'm talking about sheer violence a lot of times now with women, penitentiary type stuff, you know, more and more with women. But we're really seeing, or I'm seeing, where the brother, man, once he goes through the process, goes to school, gets him a baccalaureate degree, gets him maybe a master's, certainly when he gets beyond the master's and gets to a doctorate level and that kind of thing, normally you see those brothers, I'm serious, marrying white women or marrying, you know, something other than a straight up African American. And I submit that it's because of him knowing that, you know, again, 85% of the time you can have a loving black woman, but there's 15% of her that is so mean that even sometimes interacting with her kids, you know, and people know what I'm talking about. And this is again an ostrich thing, because we know we it's a running joke, right, with white people, how they deal with their kids at the you know, at the counter, right? The kid falls out, start having a tantrum, you know, they're leveling with the kid, trying to, you know, reason, get the kid to stand up. And what do we hear most black women say? Girl, if that was Derek, and she ain't talk. She ain't worrying about no wait until he gets home. You know that, and everybody knows that with their mother. They know what the look that you know your mother could give you, and you didn't have to. It didn't have to be no beating. She could give you that look. You know, oh shit, better straighten up. So you don't have to like act like it's not real. A lot of people try to. We have a certain meanness about us. You know, I mean, when my counterparts in terms of white boys, when their mothers was reasoning with them, my mom's was whipping me with a fucking extension cord. Huh? It's because of the way we are. I mean, and I'm not saying it's bad. It's just our culture, you know. And so a lot of the brothers, I'm saying that they decide, I don't want to marry into that culture, you know. Not in terms of being, you know, in that relations with a woman, where I'm marrying her and, you know, going to raise a family and all that. I think I'm going to do outside of the race. But what the black woman could rest her hat on, and she kind of feels she knows this, is that the brother, he ultimately may marry out of the race, and, you know, hopefully after that he would stay true to whoever his wife is. But before that, he probably has had a taste of a black woman, right? And so he would probably have to admit that, you know, like sexually, probably, that he would love to be with a black woman more so than a white woman. He may not. I've heard that from some brothers, but in terms of actually marrying them and you know, coupling to where we're going to have something that's lasting. A lot of times, you know, I even see it where a brother will have had a relationship with a sister, had a kid or two, and now his second girlfriend or wife is white. But, you know, his first was a sister. And so that's interesting to watch, right? Because now he's literally, his behavior is literally saying that I was with the sister, but for whatever reason that they broke up, but I was with a sister, so now I'm with the white girl, and it's actually working. That's what really, I guess, cuts, because it's like, it's actually working. And I'm sure he's trying his hardest to make it work. But with the sister, for whatever reason, it didn't work. But one of the reasons I think it is because of her meanness coupled with his meanness. Boom, going back like this. So now once he gets with the white woman, the white girl, there's no meanness to butt heads with. Because normally you have a different type of a demeanor. And so with her demeanor now, you know, coupling with his, it's a total different situation, right? And it just is what it is. And so the brother who, you know, who educates himself and he's forward thinking and what have you, he's saying, look, man, you know, it's best for me in terms of me doing what I got to do every day and wanting, you know, serenity, you know, within my household and what have you. It's probably best that I don't allow that meanness to counteract, you know, with my meanness. See, because my meanness can be put on hold. And the sister sometimes doesn't have that opportunity. See, she's her choice a lot of times in America is only the brother, where the brother a lot of times has more opportunity to actually have a relationship with the white girl. You know, it's changing now, but it's usually more difficult for a sister to date a white guy, you know, as opposed to a brother dating a white girl. So she doesn't have that same opportunity a lot of times to match her spirit with somebody that could tamper it down. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe it not even flare up. Whereas with a brother, where they all be in the same culture, she's just used to having this, you know, type of this attitude, this meanness, and he's used to it, whether he initiates it, combats it, or whatever it is. But it's just an interesting phenomenon to watch. And I would love to hear from people who, you know, have their different takes on it, because it's something that I see happening more and more. And as a matter of fact, I'm always joking about mulattoes rule, you know, and I really mean that. Although now I'm joking about it, but the media and the society is taking anything really off of black if you pay attention, and everything is getting moved towards the center. You're seeing more and more advertisements, shows, everything with just like a mulatto type of a cast. And so it's like they're dictating, we won't have a white society, we won't have a black society, we'll have mulattoes, we'll meet in the middle, you know. And so that's the way I see it moving. And the way you do the mulatto is by the mixing. And so again, I'm seeing more and more where you're having a white male with a sister. And I have a take on that I will share just quickly, and that is that I feel like a white man thinks that looking at a sister, that he would not be able to marry her because he would not be able to handle her, as they say, handle her sexually. I think that black women are intimidating to white men, but moreover sexually. That's just what the way I look at it. Because I feel like a black woman, even without trying a lot of times, and I mean this in a very good way, even without trying, she's like sexy a lot of times. And it just makes a man think, that she's just that. She's sexy. And so if you've got like a white guy who, is just kind of like, oh, Jimmy kind of guy, nice guy, whatever. Actually, a very nice guy and handsome, all of the things that a woman would want. But I think he feels like, and the younger guys obviously are changing, but I think back in my day and all, before that, a white man was thinking, some of them was like, a black woman is not for me. She's too sexy for me. And so I could never see myself having her as, like a wife. But moreover, I think he thinks too that, a black woman that he would meet probably would not be a virgin, and that he would not be able to give her the sexual experience that a black man gave her. That's just, how I interpreted how things, were going on and is going on. But obviously, with what I say in $1, you might be able to get you a small cup of coffee, right? So, but I just be tripping, and sometimes what a fool says makes sense, and then sometimes you say, hey, shut up, you fool, But it is what it is. Another rant, and I'll see you the next time.